resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about knowing what you're bouncing towards. We're all going to experience adversity at some point in life, and it's about how we're able to deal with it that can help us to move forward and continue to thrive in life. So here's how that works. When you're crystal clear in your core values, you stop making decisions based on external pressures or fear. You really start to make decisions on what's important to you. And maybe that's not everything that you are right now, but it's absolutely who you want to be. Hi, I am Dr. Brianna Gaynor. I am a clinical psychologist, a TEDx speaker, and I am the founder of Peace of Mind Psychological Services in Alpharetta, Georgia. Today, I want to give you something you can actually use. 5 tools to help you build resilience in 5 minutes. So, no fluff, no theory. I want to give you 5 evidence-based practices that are going to help you that you can start today to build resilience. So let's dig right in. First things first, clarify what your core values are. So what that looks like is take time to develop what your values are. What is important to you? So resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about knowing what you're bouncing towards. It's about knowing what's important to you. I define resilience as the ability to adapt well despite adversity, because the truth is we're all going to experience adversity at some point in life. And it's about how we're able to deal with it that can help us to move forward and continue to thrive in life. And so here's how that works. When you're crystal clear in your core values, you stop making decisions based on external pressures or fear. You really start to make decisions on what's important to you. And maybe that's not everything that you are right now, but it's absolutely who you want to be. So one of the things that I do is journal. Getting things out of my head onto paper helps me to really be able to process my thoughts more clearly. So I want to give you one specific assignment that you can do, your 1-minute practice to help you to identify your core goals. That's to identify one core value, just one, and make a decision. Big or small, ask yourself, does this align with my values? So identify what one core value is. And when you're making a decision, question, does that decision go in line with whatever my value is? So an example would be, maybe it's really important to me that I treat people with respect. So when I'm making work decisions or family decisions, are these decisions in line with the respect that I want to give to people, because that is a core value to me? But we have to know what our core values are to know if we're in alignment. And the way you know you're in alignment is because you feel a sense of peace and a sense of ease, even when things are difficult. So first, we got to define what our core value is. The next thing is 3 words. What are 3 words that define you? Think of 3 words to describe you and who you want to become. The reason why I'm saying your core values now and who you want to be, and your 3 words for now and who you want to become, is that we're all still becoming, and that's okay. Don't feel pressure to have it all down now, but to know that you know what you want that to look like is also important, because you can't implement things if you don't have the thing that you want to implement. You have to identify what it is, what it looks like for you. Who do you want to be? What are 3 words that define you? Not 10, but 3. So it could be things like consistent, compassionate, and brave. Maybe you choose patient, creative, grounded. I learned from my mother, who was an ER nurse. She was a powerhouse. She battled long-term illness, but she was still there for everyone. She taught me that resilience isn't passive. It's intentional. She had to make the effort even when things were difficult. She continued to try to get the support she needed. She never gave up. So, what are the things that you want to define you? Once you identify what those 3 words are, here's the non-negotiable part. You have to practice them. It needs to be intentional. So if one of your words is consistent, it isn't optional for you anymore. It's a requirement. You don't want to feel consistent. You need to act consistent until it becomes who you are. A lot of times we are not as intentional about the people we want to become but we're looking for other goals outside of ourselves. But it has to start with us. So here's your 1-minute practice for this. Write 3 words on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, and look at it every morning and ask yourself, what's one way I can embody whatever these words are today? But just choose one of the words. And for that week, I challenge you to try to consistently embody that. So let's say consistency is it. What are the things you can be consistent in today? Maybe you can be consistent in communication. Maybe you can be consistent in making people aware of the tasks you've completed. Maybe you can be consistent in your eating habits. But how do you engage and become who you desire to be? The third thing is intentional gratitude. So you have to practice gratitude. I say intentional because gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's an action. We generally are way more blessed than we acknowledge, but it's so much easier to think of the things that are negative. And so it takes deliberate effort. I had a client one time who was 10 years old and he refused to come out of the car to come into the office for an evaluation. 4 adults. We all went outside trying to reason with him, trying to talk to him, trying to coerce him in, and nothing was working. And so at some point we just paused and we stopped. And what we found was that he just wanted to feel heard, not evaluated. He didn't want to feel like there was something wrong with him. He wanted his voice to feel heard, and he was afraid that this situation was not going to create that for him. So allowing him to speak, allowing him to be heard really helped us to talk him through what was going to happen and to reschedule in a way that made him feel comfortable. And he was able to do what was needed to be done after that. And so here's the psychological truth. Gratitude shifts your brain off of the threat to what's stable, good, and available. So in that situation with my client, intentionally hearing and making him feel valued was important. So my 1-minute practice to you. Before you go to sleep tonight, text or email one person who has made a difference in your life. Not just in thinking of you, but be specific. Something like, I remembered when you did this, and this is how it made me feel. It's 60 seconds, but it'll change your mood and theirs. And often we can take for granted the things and the people in our lives that mean so much. When we can stop and focus on those good things, it changes everything. Number 4, invest in your relationships. Focus on your relationships, the ones that are important to you. Here's something I want to clarify. Resilience requires more external factors than internal factors. I think we have a myth that with resilience, it's about pushing through and being strong and just being able to do the things. But the research actually says the opposite. Solid relationships, a support system, a sense of belonging are the real predictors of being able to bounce back versus not. When my mother was in and out of the hospital throughout my whole entire childhood, we had family and friends that turned to family that were the village that helped us to continue to thrive, for me to continue to go to school and do what I needed to do to make sure she was okay. We could not have done that in isolation. And so your 1-minute practice is to pick up the phone, not a text, but an actual call. Or if that feels too much, I'm going to go old school. What about a handwritten note or a letter? Life is too short to leave things unsaid. So what is the thing that you need to say to someone to let them know that they're important to you, even if you're not close in proximity? And here's a bonus. If you're struggling right now, you don't need to fix yourself to reach out. Reach out because you're struggling, because that's what relationships are for. And that's another thing that I've learned. A lot of times we want to tough through the hardest times, but we are there for the people that we care about in their tough times. Relationships should be reciprocal. So let's allow people to be there for us the same way we want to be there for them. And then number 5, share your gift. Identify a gift that others need that you have and share it. I saved this one for last because it's the one that we resist the most. We tell ourselves, I'm not an expert. Someone else is better than this. I'll share my gift when I'm further along. But here's the truth that I've learned from a decade in private practice. You never know who is waiting on you. The truth is there are so many people who may do the same thing, but no one can do things in the same way that you have done it. What I've learned is that my gift is special. It's different from what anyone else can do, and that is significant. So, are you an artist? Are you a good listener? Are you someone who is a writer? So if you're an artist, paint. If you're a good listener, make yourself available. If you're a writer, publish that first draft no matter what it looks like, because your gift doesn't have to be polished to be powerful. Let me say that again. Your gift does not have to be polished to be powerful. It just has to be given so that it can be received. And there is something so unique about you. The reason why you are here is to give something in a way that other people cannot. When I was afraid to start my practice, I told myself business ownership was not in my wheelhouse. I didn't go to school for business, and I doubted myself a lot. But I wrote down my vision and I got to work to find out how to do the work. I joined the consultation group and I took the next small step. So take the next small step anyway. I would be so remiss if I missed out on this opportunity to be able to be a blessing to people, to listen, to support. But if I hadn't taken the chance, I would never know what I was missing by being able to give and what people were missing by being able to receive from me. So that's what resilience looks like. It's not fearlessness, it's motion. It's taking the tiny steps, and it's being willing to step out there even when you're scared. So here are the 5 tools again. Clarify your core values. Clarify your core values. It has to start with who you are and who you want to be. Then what are the 3 words that describe you? And how do you start to embody those? And then intentional gratitude. Taking the time to be grateful for all the blessings. Invest in your relationships, because without the support of others, we can't go as far as we can when we have the support of others. Our relationships a lot of time are what keep us grounded and help us through the difficult times. And then share your gift, because we all have a gift to share. Don't doubt yours and take the next small step. So let's celebrate our triumphs, even the small ones. We spend so much time looking at what's not going well, and we forget to acknowledge how far we've come. So hopefully today you can acknowledge your growth and where you are. I am Dr. Brianna Gaynor. If this resonated with you, follow me across all social media platforms at drbriannagaynor.com, or you can sign up on our email list on my website, www.drbriannagaynor.com. If you'd like me to speak at your next event, you can also fill out a link on our website to give us more information for speaking. And remember, resilience isn't about a destination. It's a practice. You keep going, even when you fall down. Once you get up, you're resilient because you're adapting and you're growing. Till next time.